So hello everyone, I just wanted to show you how to make these cool looking colorful animation where the background changes by using OpenGL and some math. So I first decided to import some important modules that are needed for this animation. Before I then decided to make a class where I thought about 4 ways the hues can change. So as you could see here, there's some general color picking tool where I'm gonna use the RGB for the colors for the background. So when you move the saturation bar, which changes the color, you could see the green color going up while the red stays at 255, making the orange and the yellow color. Once the color is turned to yellow, the red bars go down and it turns to a pure green color. Now this repeats where the blue one goes up and then the color turns to sky blue color. Once it turns to a cyan color, the green goes down before it turns to pure blue. Then the same thing happens to the red, where the red one goes up, and as it turns to purple, once it's pure purple, the blue goes down, turning it into a pure red color. And the cycle repeats from the primary color to 2 primary colors maxing out, which turns to a secondary color, and then turning back to the main color. I also saw just how this can be turned into some math formulas. As you can see here, I first by making these wave functions, where I decided to make 4 types of wave. There's the linear waves where the lines are straight, the sine waves where it's used the sine function to have this cool wavy pattern. Then there's like the quadratic one where you use exponents of force to make these round edges. And then the reverse quadratic, which is basically the quadratic but upside down, making these sharp edges, which is like opposite of these round edges. As you could see from the color in RGB, the color goes up first and then it stays a flat line, and then the next color goes down before it goes down and turns to flatlining with 0, making this like cool wave function that repeats. I then just basically use modules and floor functions, where I then made a pattern where some places it will flatline, which turns to 0, and other places the flatline will go above 0, where the color isn't like dark like black. I then decided to multiply these repeating wave patterns with the module function, where it makes it specific waves, where some parts are going up and some parts are flatlining, like how you could see in the RGB color as you move to the hue. Anyways, I then decided to make some of the flatlining to 1, which is 255, where I just use more modules and floors to get the remainder of a specific part of the x-axis to add, giving the some parts of the elevation. So in basic, the function is just a specific repeating wave function multiplied with a function telling it where to move or flatline. Plus there is a function that tells if the flatline should like at 0 or at like 1. Anyways, I then transferred the code into a single line in C++ and returned the y value, where I made a class out of it to organize the code for the 4 different types of wave functions. The red, green, and blue functions all have the same equations, but the time when the red, blue, or green colors go up and down is different. So when the x is moved, which is basically time, the color could output different colors instead of a single like color that's combined, which is also grayscale. Anyways, I just did some basic OpenGL stuff where OpenGL uses RGB from 0 to 1 instead of 0 to 2. So I didn't have to make the height of the waves to 1 instead of 225, finishing the code. Anyways, this is just a visualization of the difference of each of the 4 waves. Anyways, thanks for watching and see you soon. And I just recently learned OpenGL, so hope you're happy with this, and please like and subscribe.